name is Vlada. I worked for different brands like Nissan, Kia, Sberbank, and now Tesco Technology. Also, I'm a visiting lecturer at MA programs at Regent's University London. Since I'm working on a very complex simulation tool, I'm the right person to speak about data science, AI, and how it can revolutionize design. So today I'm going to speak about what is data science for designers, AI agents and agentic AI, what means human in the loop and why we need to know it, also UX of UI and human-centered design, and common pitfalls. Speaking about the platform I'm working on, it's called Aladdin. It's an internal platform for Tesco Technology. Tesco is the largest retailer in the UK. And we have a lot of internal tools, and there are a lot of other tools that are on the market that our users use. So I'm working with internal users, and we are creating an advanced simulation and digital twins platform. What that means. In terms of simulation, I'm going to give you an overview. It uses computers to imitate the operation of real-world system and provide an option to simulate what-if scenarios and help users to understand what they can create. If, for example, it's really hard to simulate where you want to allocate stores, and if you want to allocate them to specific distribution centers, it's very high in cost to simulate in real life and run live trials. So it's easy to simulate in our tool and be able to understand the best option, especially if we have different type of food available, frozen or not. And that means that having this tool internally, we can apply all the constraints that we have, all the information we use. That's the difference between using tools which are on the market and creating them internally. Also, as we have digital twins as well, that means that it's a larger model that imitate the real world conditions. So let's have a starting point. What does data science mean for designers, and why should we explore this topic? When I joined Tesco Technology, I was interested in data science, but I never thought that it's such a massive field to explore. So it's a combination of math and a lot of different processes. And that means that data science in the current situation with AI and this obsession with AI are very in the center of the situation. And when you want, as a designer, understand their concepts, like human in the loop, what means AI agents, what is the difference between AI agents and agentic AI, what means generative AI, and how it can evolve. That means that understanding it, even as the basics, can help you to increase your value on the market and also to create more valuable and meaningful user experience. When you understand the models, at least you don't need to code, but understand how it works and what technologies they use and how it affects user behavior or user experience. That can help you to be at the top. So models optimized for performance, user's experience is optimized for understanding. Designers bridge the gap, and without design, it's quite hard for users to understand what's going on. There are a lot of tools on the market at the moment that are using agentic AI, AI agents, and generative AI, but it's not always clear what they are providing, what they are doing, how you use them. And sometimes I see online how people share their experience that they ask for advice or like use them as doctors. And it's quite confusing when the system can't provide the clarity and limitations. So data science helps designers build trustworthy experiences, effective decisions, and actions. And it's a powerful tool that can help us to make better tools. powerful idea and approaches. So when I joined Tesco Technology, I was a little bit confused because there is a big gap how designers work and how data scientists work. So I'm the first designer who is working on the data science tools within even such a big company. They were creating platforms themselves before, but now they realize that user experience is important. So when I just joined and I felt this awkwardness, how we think differently, and I went to see this TV series. I think you know who I'm talking about. And that really helped me to understand how my colleagues think and adjust my approach accordingly. So I launched different workshops to help them understand the user needs, what means personas, what is the user experience in general, and how we can help users understand what's going on. It's actual quotes from my experience when I had workshops with my colleagues. So they think, why do we need users when we have data? And I was telling, like, we don't just solve problems, we solve human problems. And that's how we as a designers are bridging the gap between technology and reality. Because in general, data scientists think in models, in constructions, in what they can achieve, but sometimes they don't understand what the user needs. They more technology driven. What that means? There are different approaches and theories, and it's a little bit a nerdy moment. So I would like when I started exploring their approach, I identified that there is a technological determinism, and that means that tech shapes us. And there is social determinism when society shapes tech. And there is social constructivism, we shape each other. And that's just the different mindset that we have. And data scientists usually think in technological determinism when they think that technology and the idea of technology is the primary force shaping society and culture, and often independently of human intentions. So this type of people, that they may prioritize technological possibilities over user needs, and their idea is more tech-driven rather than human-centered. And in this case, it's hard sometimes to give them examples or give them ideas why we need to switch to user needs. But it's really great to have these different mindsets in a team. It helps us to see world differently and achieve better results when we understand technology and our users. But I would suggest to explore this technological determinism theory to understand the idea of it and how it can shape. Uh, Honestly, it's always like we always live in time of changes. There was inventing of a wheel, it was internet appearance. And the thing is that it's not only about technology, but also it's important to understand how we use this technology and how we adapt and how we are changing our behavior based on the technology. So I would assume that the combination of different theories can be applied to the reality, and we can take best out of each of the theories. So, for example, risk of designing for what's possible instead of what's needed, we can avoid this. Uh, in social determinism, product design focuses on user context, inclusivity, and social impact, and we can take that it's aligned with human-centered design principles. And from social constructivism, we can take that it's co-design when technology and human needs and user testing and go in dialogue with stakeholders can help us to create agile and iterative design. Moving forward, data science and UX design become critical when creating AI tools. And that means that data science provides one part like analytic predictions and insights, and that help to power tools. And at this same point, at the same time, your UX ensures those tools are user-friendly and help users to have better experience and adapt to the new technologies. There are a lot of tools on the market at the moment, and a lot of people are overwhelmed on learning how to use them, and not all tools providing clarity, context, or help. And that means that it doesn't matter how many tools you have there, but if you find the best solution, you will stick to it. So let's talk about things that are really nice to know and understand: AI agents and agentic AI. So what are they? We have different AI agents on our platform that can help us to automate processes and deliver faster decisions. So AI agents, it's autonomous systems that perceive, process, act, and provide data to other systems or agents, but also humans. And that means that it's not the same as agentic AI. AI agents, they can be different, like reactive agents, cognitive deliverable agents, learning agents, collaborative agents. They are different in their area and their limitations and what they can do. So, for example, it can be spam filters, rule-based chatbots, but not all of them are learning from their previous experience. It can be self-driving cars, AI-powered assistants, personalized recommendation engines. It all can be powered by AI agents. And that's helpful, especially if we consider collaborative agents, when they can assist with diagnosis, with human-in-the-loop systems. The way how they are used and why we need to know about them, why they matter. It's because they can automate, they can make personalized experience. They can be efficiency, scalability, and math complexity. The way that can, especially math complexity, is important because it's hard sometimes to create systems if they have this limitation. So it's for better decision working with data and complex dimensions. When you want to support business by managing large volumes of interactions, or it can improve the process and decision making. But the main idea is that it's not the same as agentic AI in terms of how it acts. Agentic AI is another type of AI that make decision, adapts, learn dynamically, and it's not waiting for instructions. It can actively examines and make decision itself. It can improve ideas under its own direction, and while adjusting in real time and enhancing its own output and response. That means that we as the designers need to understand both of like agentic, like everything. It's good to know what it is, but why we need to understand it. Because while we create the process flows, the user experience, user flows, and scenarios, we can identify the limitations that we need to put and help users understand what is going on, why system responded the way that it's responded. It can help with creating notifications, warnings, hovers, and everything else that informs users in the process. What means human in the loop? Who work in data science, their common approach to treating users and humans as human in the loop. So in this regard, users are not the main focus. They are validating the system, they are validating outputs, and their role is not primary, it's secondary. And technology and algorithms are the main. And that means that when we think about different user journeys or user experience that we have, not always we need to involve users in the process. For example, in operational and tactical system, human role is usually minimal. It's the same like spam filters. You don't need to adjust them on a daily basis. You just have them on your computer and they act on your behalf. But if we talk about strategic solutions, human role is critical. And in this regard, that means that the context is quite high. Decision requires additional context. And in these systems, we need humans to validate decisions or adjust parameters or understand domain, have domain expertise and understand what's going on. As an example of human in the loop, when AI suggests optimal routes and in this system, human remain in the loop to adjust these routes based on real world conditions and scenarios. It helps to get better decision based on the context and using best from technology. So overall, bridging human in the loop with human-centered design is important. Why it's important? Human in the loop users validate machines. Human-centered design is focused on systems that serve users, but designers can help with the mindset shift when we are creating solutions that are focused on user needs, user context, and help users to achieve their goals. So if we talk about UX of AI and human-centered design, what that means for us. Usually, AI is a black box system. That means that data scientists are not explaining everything to users, what is going on. And it's not always needed to understand everything, because sometimes AI can provide things that you are not expecting, and that's good as well. But in user experience, this lack of explanation can increase anxiety, can reduce trust in system, and it's also can lead to unexpected outcomes. It's the same as when we talk about autonomous driving. Who is responsible for the accident, a car or a driver, if we talk about autonomous cars? Or the manufacturer? That's the open question, because this in terms of user experience, it's sometimes can be a black box system when system acts on its own and it's not predictable and not clear what's going on. So overall, AI often works behind the scenes and it's not clear what is the outcome. And that means that for designers, it's really good to understand the process. We don't need to go in deep details in terms of understanding Python or something else, but it's good to know how the model works. User needs visibility to trust invisible decisions, and that means that we come again to the explainability. Everyone have this experience with AI, and sometimes it can hallucinate, and sometimes it's not clear when you provide some information, or you are expecting one result and you're getting another. So in this regard, interfaces must surface AI behavior and help users understand the context of the decision making. Also, when we understand AI basics, we can help users to create this trustworthy experience. And without understanding, sometimes we can create misleading experience. That means that if we don't understand, how we can explain to our users what is going on. So that's like a balance of understanding complex systems, and from the other side, be able to show users what is going on. So when I joined my team, I started to explore the models we have. So since we have a platform, on this platform, we have different models related to different business domains, to transportation, to operations, to different areas that is completely, it was completely new for me. And I went to distribution center, went to a superstore to explore how it looks like. And I ask all these questions. What does the model predict and why? What happens when it hallucinates? What should the user know or do? So it was harder to understand when it was just a platform. But when I saw in real life, for example, how the DC operates and how robots are delivering products. That was really helpful in creating this map in my head, how the process looks like, and what can be simulated and why, what constraints we have, what can be adjusted, what are the context parameters, and what users need. Also, I conducted a survey. It was a qualitative survey that helped me to understand the business domain and how it's aligned with what we are creating, and also what users need. Before that, our users used in different business domain, they used different other tools, which are quite high in costs. And that means that by creating this internal platform, our company can save not only money for the licenses, but also create um, more specific to our company tool that have a lot of information based on our knowledge and our experience, because as a big company, we have our other tools that can be linked to each other and be the best solution for our business users. Also, we have not only business users, we have power users. That means that the context for business and power users are completely different. Power users are those who need more understanding data science, and they know data science. And business users, they are non-tech, and that means that experience that I'm creating should be aligned with these constraints. So that means that designing for versus with users is a better solution. Since I am working with internal users, I empathize co-creation, and I involve users throughout the design process. So it's about workshops to understand their needs, iterative prototypes to gather feedback, and design through usability testing. That might be sound normal to everyday life of a designer, but we not always involve users throughout the design process. Sometimes we just test and iterate. In this, exploring all this in terms of my everyday work, I would say that we as a designers are translators, because data scientists, they create models. Sometimes when I involve my colleagues into workshops, they don't understand the value of their participation, but actually it helps to align all team members on the same idea we are creating, on the vision and mission, and also who are our users, why it is important to create this type of model or another one. And also it's really important in explainability, especially if it's come to black box systems. And in terms of users, we have their goals and context, and designers, they are focused on interfaces, feedback, and trust. So when we understand data, we can translate it and create a meaningful experience. It's important when we understand the model's logic to bridge the gap between model logic and human logic. It's not always the same. Since we have different models and different business domains, I would say even for transportation and fulfillment, the logic can be completely different. And that's good to explore the specific users and their needs, because that's how I identify that personas is not enough for my platform, and I switch from exploring personas. I have them as a basic, because we have business users, we have simulation analysts, we have power users. But also for my side and for my work, it was important to switch to mental model, a mental model of not only using AI, but learning, understanding, feedback loop, and how users interact with the system. So that's how I approach the way of translating interfaces to users, and their experience is through mental model plus personas. So we need to, like, it's obvious, everyone knows that we need to focus on empathy, usability, and iterative improvement. But when you work with data scientists or on their tools, actually it's everyday story when I tell them that we have to keep users' needs in mind, and we have to iterate on the approach that we are using, and based on the feedback and feedback loop, or we can create more user-friendly, more better experience for our users, and they can trust it. Because it's, especially in internal tools, trust plays a big role, because if the decision that our users are making can cost millions of pounds, so for now, it's a tool that saves millions of pounds for the company. So if a system is not trustworthy, if it's not clear what's going on, how to rely on this decision, and who will be responsible for the decision that wasn't right. So that's all is a part of our job, to create the experience that will help not only to with the decision making, but also to trust the system. So strategy for explainable AI design, it's clarity plus transparency plus adaptability. And sometimes we want to simplify, but it's more important to have structure and prioritization. Because, for example, for non-tech users, it can be better to have something simple. But actually, if this system is also for those who have data science experience, that means that simple tool won't be so trustworthy. So we like when creating this platform, I need to have this in mind, and create experience that will be simple but not oversimplified. So also it's important to give meaning, not raw numbers, give explanation behind it. And when we create design flows from data to the decision, we need to provide context. And also when we talk about AI, of course, it's important to think about bias and if ethical responsibility. Who is affected and how, anticipate bias and consequences. And also, for example, it's especially important in such areas like finance, medicine, when the cost of a decision is quite high. And I read a lot of books on this topic, and that's really helpful to understand how it can affect. And some systems, they hallucinate and they can create bias. And there are a lot of techniques for data scientists to check the system on this and help to reduce the bias and that can affect on people's life. It's the same as if the system is checking your finance status for the mortgage, for example, and it understands that you live in an area which is not good, you didn't study in the university, or your job is not enough good for the system, that can affect the results. So keeping in mind that a system can have this part, you can understand what to show to users and how to explain what is going on. So feedback improves both UX and UI. And sometimes we need to give this option for users to shape the system and be able to switch on and off now what they are wanted to adjust. And also, it's important to build learning into the experience because, for example, for complex tools as our platform, it takes time to adapt to like onboarding, learning, and getting the results, because sometimes you need to upload additional information. And when we build learning into the experience, it reduced anxiety and help users to use your tools on the daily basis. So trust can be measurable through surveys and feedback, and it's not instant, it's built. It's all about onboarding, reinforcement, and recovery. And also, if you're creating a complex tool, keep in mind that learning curves can help in creating better user experience. And trust empowers users rather than leave them at the mercy of the algorithm. Understand that you need to ask your users during interviews, surveys, what is trust, what means trust for them, and how you can empower their experience. Key factors to trust: transparency, predictability, clarity, and all these can help build systems that work, and users can feel confidence and they believe in the outcomes. System behaves as expected, and they understand the limitations. They understand what their decision is based on, and that helps to have better user experience. And as a final touch is common pitfalls. There are a lot of things that can be adjusted, but keep in mind that over-reliance on automation can lead to systems that fail in edge cases. And in this, that means that sometimes we won't automate everything to help users to achieve faster results. But actually, not all users need this. You need to explore the context to understand what their needs, what their goals, how they want to achieve it, and automate those parts of the journey that needs to be automated. Also, neglecting user feedback can lead to creating tools that are not aligned with user needs. And that means that feedback loops should be added to the experience. And sometimes when I use AI tools, they are providing several options to choose between one and another. But actually, they are learning not only on this part, but also they can learn based on what you copy, what you download. And this also can be a feedback loop for designers to understand what part of the system users are responding to, what they are using. And also, overwhelming interfaces confuse users rather than guiding them. Of course, this can be adjusted based on the usability tests, A/B testing, but keep in mind, for example, I'm creating a very complex tool. So to understand the interface, it's one problem, but to understand technical requirements from user side in different domains, it's another thing. And for one person who is technical, this can be simple interface, but for others who are non-tech, that can be overwhelming. So I'm keeping in mind every time the user needs and create it in the way that can be adjusted for both. Also, assuming AI eliminates the need for UX can lead to poor user experience. And sometimes the users, sometimes design role is ignored, and not all teams are working design first. And that means that it can be bad for user experience in terms of trust and clarity. And failing to provide design leadership is bad for human-centered AI. And hope we will have best tools on the market and not overwhelmed with AI. But overall, knowing all these new technologies from the side of data science can help you understand that the role of designers is translating this technology into normal human language and help our users. And that's all from my side. Thank you very much. If you want to explore a little bit more, here is a QR code to Human in the Loop article that I wrote, or you just can follow me on LinkedIn. And sometimes I post information that's relevant for explore. Thank you very much. I stop sharing my screen.
Thank you very much, Vlada. That was wonderful. If any of the participants have a question for you, please click on the Q&A button down at the bottom of your screen, and you can submit your question there. We've already had a few come in, so let's see if we can get to them. Someone asked if you could say more about the mindset shift that's needed, and maybe in particular, who needs to think differently. I see this came in a while ago, so maybe you already kind of answered it, but could you expand a little bit more about maybe the who part?
So if we go back to the technological determinism, when people who are now responsible for technology and creating these models, these tools, it's more data scientists and engineers. And there are a lot of tools that are driven by engineers, but not designers. And that means that if you explore a little bit technological determinism, you will understand that this theory and this mindset is focused on technology and what is possible to create and not what users need. So if we have switched to put users first, that means that we can create better AI experience. So not all I'm telling from my experience, because when I joined my team, they were driven by engineers and data scientists, and their mindset is technological determinism. They are trying to create amazing models which are really, really great in what they can achieve. We are creating agentic AI as well, but actually if they are not thinking about users and what they actually need, these models are just nice to have. So to expand our user base and to attract more business users, we need to create more better and simpler experience. So it's a good tool, but for data scientists. So for those who can operate with the complexity. And before that, they were having these models only on the specific computer, and business were coming to them on a daily basis asking for the simulation, and it was a big dependence on data scientists. So switching to and putting users first, that means that we can increase our user base, we can attract more non-tech people, and we can create tools that can save millions of pounds because people want to use them.
Very good, thank you. There's a related question that has to do with users and kind of the humans in the mix. So someone asked, are the humans, in your view of human-centered design, simply the end user of an AI data science system, or are you even talking about the various humans who are involved throughout the development of the tool? And they also kind of toss in, I presume that many of those people may not understand AI either.
So since we have a platform, that means that some of our users are helping in these technical requirements and helping in creating models, but not all of them. So it's just a unique people who understand data science. So most of them are not technical, and human in the loop means that you adjust the system, or you put, like you are influencing on the part of the journey. And I was creating a framework based on my current work. At what stage we need to involve humans, what we need to confirm, what we need to adjust, and do we need to do that, and how we provide notifications, additional context to help users understand what is there on the screen. So not all our users are involved in model creations, but some of them are, and that means that their experience is completely different. That's why we have power users who understand data science. That's why we have business users who are non-technical, and also we have simulation analysts who partly understand data science, so they work with data, but they are not involved in model creation.
Okay, thank you. Rebecca asks, how did you get the data scientists on board with working with UX? What problems were they having that made them think UX could help?
That's an amazing question, because that's why I joined Tesco, because they identify that there are a lot of tools that we have, internal tools, that are focused on different areas. So when they launched several platforms and they were not successful in using them on a daily basis to help users, and a lot of people, even they had these platforms, were relying on data scientists. So for example, we have 152 designers and we have 200 data scientists. Feel the difference, right? So our company is heavily relying on data. And the problem is that if business users are relying on a daily basis on data scientists, that's limiting their capabilities. And that means that, for example, one simulation can run for 5 hours, for example, for 8 hours, for more, because it depends on the complexity of like parameters you put in, or information that it should analyze, and how many iterations you need to have. So you are changing parameters and you run several simulations to understand which option is the best. And that means that relying on data scientists was not a best solution. So they identify that there is a problem with their platforms, why users are not using it. And that's how we ended up having me on the project, because that was the first step for informing their decisions and make it more user-friendly, because they identify that something's wrong, why people are not using it. But what they was hard for them to understand, they are very smart people. All of my colleagues are with PhD in data science. So that means that for them, a lot of things are so simple. And sometimes I ask to translate in a human language, because they are robots. They know a lot, but they sometimes don't understand that I'm a normal person. I have no idea what they're talking about. So that's why I'm saying that designers are translators to a human language. That's why the role of a designer is great at this age of AI, because we are helping to translate these complex models, the complex experience, and help users to understand what's going on. So that's why I am there. That's why I'm working on this complex tool.
Oh, that's a great answer. That's an interesting story. Let's see. Also, Natalie has asked if you could share a little bit more about the mental models that you uncovered in Discovery. And when they say Discovery, I'm assuming they mean the Discovery part of the research.
Yeah.
Were these related to the attitudes toward the AI tech, or more about their expectations were given their familiarity with other DS tools?
Actually, it's both. That's why it's more complex than just a persona, because it's goes to AI adoption as well. It goes to learning these quite complex tools. So in my like survey and interviews I launched, I identify that not all people are learning this the same way because of the complexity of the tools they are using. Also, depending on the domain, for example, in transportation is going to be one set of tools they used before. So the common tool is Excel people use. But actually, it's a good way of understanding as well when you clarify which type of tools they used before, what kind of tools they used before, because it can affect the way how you create your tool. Because in my case, when I identify that like mental model depends on the tech, non-tech people as well, but there are more constraints in the feedback loop, how one team like to give feedback and adjust the model or the outcomes or the system itself compared to another one, because they work and operate in different business domains. They have different experience in learning and using other like different tools. And that's how I identify that personas are not enough, because they are not giving me enough context of understanding my users. And mental model is a good way of going deep dive and understanding specifics of the users in feedback, in learning, and in giving feedback to the system and to the data scientists. It's different approach, because the one is engineering related and another one the data scientists to the models. And also related to AI adoption. As I said, it's important in the tools that can affect the decision making and can cost millions of pounds to trust this system and understand how people like build this trust with systems and how they understand that they can rely on it.
Thank you. Question from Chassis. What techniques have you used to help end users develop a useful mental model of an AI system? Chassis loves that insight that the mental model is the interface for the AI.
I think that it's all related to the feedback and how people understand what you are giving there and how you explain what is going on. Because it's better to describe on specifics. For example, not all users need to adjust their parameters. Some of them will just want to have preset things, and they will change some parameters just to play around. And when you create a complex system and relying on some specific users, it can create bias when you create nice to have functions. So that's all about feedback in creating these tools and adjust it accordingly and depending on the user's context.
Okay, thank you. Elizabeth says, can you say more about the different approaches you took to gather information and insights from multiple stakeholders? For example, surveying leadership to get information about business goals.
Well, it was challenging because I have internal users, and with some of them, I had to have pre-discovery interviews, showing them the value of design, to be able to involve them in the activities that I planned. So to gather information, I needed to build relationship first to be able to get as much as I can from their experience. Also, while I was doing that, I said what type of research I plan to start and when. And during this period, I identified that not all users are willing to participate in interviews. And that's why I had to switch to another type of research. And that's how you have to adapt to the current state. But actually, that's helped me to gather really valuable insights when I adapted my way of working based on internal users and their feedback. And I got a lot of really valuable insights from that side. Also, I had kind of workshops also and interviews with my data scientists that helped me to understand who is more closer to our users and who can provide more feedback, because mostly they gather technical requirements. But when I started showing my team what is design thinking, what is double diamond, how process looks like, why we need to understand user needs, their context, it helped them to start this dialogue with our internal users and gather even more feedback. So they were like already advocates that helped me to understand our users better. So that's like different approaches that can be used, especially if you work with internal users. Of course, with external, it's going to be a different approach. You're finding people with specific area, like in specific area you want to explore. And there are different techniques how you can make it not only like diary studies, a lot of things that can help you understand the context better. And that's one of the techniques that can be used.
Kaula asks, what techniques do you use to make the Aladdin platform's AI-driven decisions more transparent to the users?
I think that it's an still open question because we have now we are relying more on data scientists who are really trustworthy, and they had a really good experience working with this team, and they understand that they can trust the system. But in terms of our future steps, we are going to rely on notification, providing context, reducing anxiety in terms of adjusting parameters, and exploring it through different sites, gathering requirements, but also gathering what a user needs. So it's a combination of data science work and design work.
Excellent. Okay, we're close to the top of the hour, so I'm going to just see if we can squeeze in one more question. I'm sorry that we're not going to get to all of them, but since we've gotten into a lot of the weeds here, which has been fantastic for some of us, but also some of us, AI is a little new to some designers. So this is about ChatGPT or similar things. How might we design AI systems that hint to the user as to what's possible? For example, ChatGPT has many abilities, but they aren't necessarily shared easily on the screen as options to hint to the user what's even possible. So if you could answer that in a minute or less.
Okay, I'm going to be fast.
Are you up to the challenge?
Yeah, I'm going to be fast. If you check how many users actually used their academy, you will be surprised that not all of them are willing to do that, even though millions of people are using ChatGPT. And that's a really interesting thing that, as I said, in the theory that we are using, maybe not all is related to the user needs, and not all of these functions were created based on user needs. So just go and check ChatGPT Academy. It's a really amazing place to explore what is possible. But if you find statistics, how many people used it, you will understand that this tool is used in specific area. And that means that it's not uncovered for all users to be able to use all of their capabilities.
Wow, great. I wasn't even familiar with that ChatGPT Academy, so that's wonderful. Okay, so let's wrap things up. And so I guess one question just generally for you, how can people stay in touch with you and your work, Bada? Do you have a website or LinkedIn?
LinkedIn is the best solution because I usually publish there articles that I'm creating or events I'm launching.
Okay, thank you. So just kind of wrapping things up here, again, great presentation. For those of you who have been watching or joined a little bit late and you want to see this again, a recording of this webinar will be posted to the UXPA website, which is at uxpa.org, or UXPA International's YouTube page. I mentioned that we're also going to have another webinar Wednesday next week. So check normally we only do about one a month, but this month we're doing two. So you check our website for that. Also, UXPA International holds an annual conference every summer. This year, it will be held in Amsterdam, Netherlands, June 16th through the 19th. Tickets are still available. And next year, in 2026, it takes place in Las Vegas, Nevada. So for more information about all of that, including if you have ideas for a UX webinar or workshop, or you have some sort of interesting perspective that can inform best practices, or maybe you have another view on AI that you'd like to share, please visit our website, again, uxpa.org. And with that, that is the end of our webinar. And thank you, Vlada. Thank you to all of you who joined us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.